My patrons have voted. They're interested in seeing the changes happening at Hôtel de Ville, the mayor's office, for the Olympics. Not sure how much has changed. We're gonna go check it out. We're gonna keep checking out all these locations and see what's happening. Obviously, you can see I'm at Étoile right now, where they're planting a whole bunch of trees, it looks like. The city is evolving. Anyway, if you'd like to vote on future monument checkups, like seeing what's happening as we get ready for the games, or just bopping around Paris in general, among a few other polls we're gonna be launching here very soon, make sure to go to patreon.com/Jay Swanson. You get to vote on this stuff. And if you didn't want to go to Hôtel de Ville today, you should have voted. Oh, I almost forgot. We have another giveaway lined up for you from a special guest who happens to know a lot about what's going on with the games and who can get you around a lot of Paris, a lot of different parts of Paris in style. So if you're coming to Paris sometime soon, you're gonna wanna check this out. It's gonna be great. I mean, free tours of Paris. What's not to love? Click, clack. For those of you that are wondering, that have never heard me talk about Hôtel de Ville before, Hôtel de Ville is not a hotel, as the name might trick you into thinking. The word hotel gets used for a lot of things around here, many of which don't mean you can actually sleep in them. This is the mayor's office. It's the mayor's office for Paris. There are actually 21 mayor's offices in Paris, although they reduced 4 of them down to 1, so you don't necessarily quote me on that. Every arrondissement has its own mayor, but this is where the mayor of Paris sits, arguably the second most powerful political position in France, and usually a stepping stone to the presidency. Maybe not usually, but it's seen that way. Anywho, not really sure what all has changed yet. It's also one of the oldest buildings in Paris, alongside Notre Dame, which is right across the river, being reconstructed as we speak. Has a lot of history, this building. Doesn't look the way it used to when it was first built, like 800 years ago, but they've added quite a lot of nice elements to it. Well, as you might be able to tell, the main difference for now is that they've covered the front of it with these patchwork of like, kind of like monuments and sports combined in what I would describe as the waiting room of a 1980s dentist. Maybe 1990s actually, I'm not really sure which, but you know, it looks nice enough. The real question is, how is it going to change? Which we'll ask Jess here in a second. She asked me to meet her for coffee nearby, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do a quick tour around here first, just to see what's going on. We'll ask her what she knows about what's gonna change, because this is gonna affect a lot of people in this area, especially those who run tours. And her tour, she's gonna give you a free one here in a second. We'll talk about that though. She wanted to grab coffee at the Patron, where we just were with Mark last week. And for those of you that have noticed, I don't go down there as much as I used to, but it is still a spot you're gonna enjoy if you're coming to town for coffee, for like Chris sandwiches, which is one of the rare places to get Chris sandwiches. And for bike tours we're not talking about today. We're gonna talk about someone else's bike tours today. We'll talk about them again soon though, don't worry. Where's your stick? You lost it?
The women shift.
But I like
get that
Mange
impression?
Matin now.
Mange Matin.
How are you always taller than me when we sit down?
I have a very long body.
I know, I don't understand this.
Don't worry, I usually slouch. Do you want me to go back to... Well, that's a shame.
Well, there goes the camera. I love that it's actually not just you. I love that we've done giveaways for 2 different tour companies, or we're doing one for yours. We did one for Badass, and both of them ended up at the Peloton.
Yeah, maybe that's not good.
It's really funny, actually. Don't worry, we'll do something with Bike About at some point. But in the meantime, we can still stop here for coffee. There's not a lot that's changed yet at Hôtel de Ville, but do you know what they're going to do with it? Jess just told me that the marathon is starting at Hôtel de Ville.
The marathon is starting at Hôtel de Ville.
Okay.
You know what's really cool this year is the women's marathon is going to be the second event. So the men will run first.
Yep.
And then the women.
Okay.
And you know the marathon's the last event of the Olympics.
I actually forgot about that, yeah.
So it's the last thing. So normally the very last thing is the men coming in at the end. This time it's going to be the women who are going to conclude. And they're doing that on purpose because they're actually honouring the women's march to Versailles. So don't know if you know this, Jay, but during the French Revolution, it was the women who marched on Versailles to go and get the king, Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. They were sick of not being able to feed their families. Huge problem. They were like, nothing's really happening. The men are running around with guns, but no one's really getting anything done. So they marched. It was mostly women who marched down there.
Yep. With some cannons, right?
With some cannons. And they're the ones who really pushed the king and queen to come back to Paris and kind of answer to their actions. And so the marathon is going to trace that route of history and have...
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool.
I think it's really cool. Yeah, I like that.
Cool.
Also, it aligns well with your feisty mood this morning, like letting people have it.
Feisty mood this morning. If anyone needs someone to be yelled at, particularly French people, I will be your lady.
Well, we'll set up another poll here soon. The next poll that I'm going to do on Patreon is going to be for French food. Like a French food you want me to try. So keep your eyes out for that. We'll do another Olympic one, and Jess and I'll go check it out because things are going to continue to evolve. However, we're also doing a giveaway in the season of giveaways. If you'd like to go on a tour with Fat Tire, which Jess runs, and that's who she's yelling on people on behalf of today, go over to Instagram right now. We're posting a reel when this comes out, and you can participate the same way we've done with all the other tours. Recently, you've got 48 hours to jump in there, tag someone that you like, follow both Fat Tire and me, and one or two lucky winners, I guess, will get a chance to go on a tour with Fat Tire.
Yeah, come see me.
And you get to come see Jess. That's the real prize. It's a prize I thankfully get to win all the time. Also, thanks, Wendy, for the package. I see a notebook in there. I needed a notebook. That's good timing.
Trying a new place. I mean, it's fine, but I wouldn't go out of my way for it. And I'm really trying to up the bar. My God, I got to remove a couple places this week too. Actually,
Yeah, for sure.
it's not bad. You know, it's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
But I can think of better that I would go to first, which is saying something for Paris and burritos.
And thanks to today's patron producer, Ahmed MAHMOUD, for sending us out to do a little bit of an investigation. I didn't really explain Fat Tire, I realized. So let me do that. Fat Tire is a really big bike tour company. They used to do Segway tours. I don't think they do those anymore. But one of the things that they do that I think is phenomenal is Eiffel Tower tours. Among all the things that they do, it might be one of the most beneficial, might be one of the most useful ones actually, because personally, I'm not a huge fan of going up the Eiffel Tower to begin with, and especially getting the tickets and going through the whole process. And if you've never been, you've never done it before, it can be really nice to do it with somebody who knows what they're doing, can tell you some stories along the way, and see you through the whole process. That's one of the tours that I think is a great one to jump on if you can. But obviously, their bike tours around Paris are also phenomenal. They do a picnic tour, a night bike tour, all kinds of fun stuff. Go check them out. And if you're seeing this within the first 48 hours of posting, make sure you go over to Instagram and see if you can't get in on a little giveaway of their day bike tour.